will be against Isaiah Mobley for Bahamas and Pablo Gomez for Uruguay. And it's going to be Gomez emphatically swatting it back to his captain, Fittipaldo. 34-year-old from Montevideo carries it up and starts the offensive day. Joaquin Rodriguez, Gomez screen, crossover, drive, floater blocked, and a rebound there goes to Rashad Davis.
Well, you know, the first thing happens, he gets a touch on the basketball, and right away he's at the ball screen getting downhill. Right, doesn't convert, but like I said, he's going to put pressure on the defense as soon as he catches the basketball.
And here is Bridgewater back in. Inside Mobley, kick to the corner. Davis for three. Good, what a start for the Bahamas.
And a different start here, the pick and roll. Mobley catching the basketball in the paint on the move and kicking it out to the weak side. That second cutter opens that floor up on the second side.
And now an and one drawn by Rodriguez as he scores at the hoop, and he'll go to the line trying to tie the game.
The two first possessions for Uruguay. Here you see the backdoor cut. Rodriguez catching it, the defense falling asleep on the backside, picking up a foul. But those two first possessions go into your heart, your soul, your grit. And Rodriguez, and like I told you, I love when he's on the floor. I love when he plays because he's so tenacious, he's so aggressive, and you look at his eyes, right? Just the intensity that he plays with.
His dad, Nazar, also a professional basketball player in Uruguay. Joaquin Rodriguez, the 26-year-old, is tied it at 3. Bounce pass to Mobley to the corner again, same play, but a different result there, and a long rebound spills out to Fittipaldo.
He's still got a good look, right? The pick and roll, the roll action there, good catch and a kick out.
Uruguay was looking to go inside. Mobley fronting his man Gomez under the hoop. And now a switch. Gomez comes up to screen. Iglesias screening as well. Rodriguez into Gomez, and after a while that switch paid off as he scored over Davis. Open look, right wing three, off the heel of the rim, and Sammy Hunter a miss on his first field goal attempt. Working on Davis again, Suarez to the rim. He had a huge one in their first game.
And how about the spin away? It leans on the defense, spins, and a quick step to the basket for the right-handed finish.
Mobley controlling, coming off an 8-point performance. And a fadeaway three rattled out. Almost got it for Franco Miller.
Well, they're doing a good job of just double-teaming Franco Miller, knowing he's their leading scorer. Right, want to get the basketball out of his hands or making his shots difficult.
Fittipaldo contested look, and he rattles it home. Bruno Fittipaldo with his first make. .10-0 run right now for Uruguay after the first basket of the game was made by Bahamas. Davis had that bucket. He swings it outside. Bridgewater fakes his man for the open three. Well too strong, though, on the take. Gomez out and running. Good feet inside. Had to save it back and gets it to Rodriguez. Free-flowing game. 3 minutes in. Only one foul. Almost jinxed it right there. Now Fittipaldo around his screen. And a rebound, Mobley. To the corner, Bridgewater three in transition. Domnick Bridgewater's first bucket back.
Well, he's not shy at all because it's back-to-back threes for him. Attempts. The first one went on over the other side of the basket. Here, Hunter kicks it to him the left corner, and he shoots in great rotation, confident, and that's what you got to have, right? Shooter's mentality. Shoot till you make and make till you miss.
After that make by Bridgewater, it's a substitution. Rashad Davis, who made the last three, is out. And Freeport's Kedjuan Smith is in, 33-year-old forward. Still the starting lineup for Uruguay, 3.5 minutes in.
Now Bahamas showing a bit of zone here. 2-3 looks like.
Rodriguez to the corner, three for Suarez. Rebound by Mobley, his second already. And a turnover quickly given away. Numbers Uruguay 4-on-2. Suarez faked the pass. Layup no good, and the tap back try no good. Iglesias. Now Fittipaldo pulls up. And another opportunity for Uruguay. Ceres draws a foul. Just too many offensive boards. They will call that one on the floor. Bahamas going to get together now and talk over what they want to do because they just gave up too many chances on that possession.
Yeah, and those are effort plays, right? Shots going off was if it's a three ball, you know it's going to be a long rebound. If it's close to the basket, you know you got to box out. It's got to be guaranteed rebounding. Make sure you close out those possessions.
Second foul of the quarter on the Bahamas. Believe it went on Franco Miller Jr. Fittipaldo. Nice pass. Bianchi just checked in and he scores. He was the guy who hit the turnaround in the final minute to put them ahead of the U.S. last game. Hunter outside to Mobley. And the three is long. Turnover quickly the other way. Bahamas basketball. By the way, Bianchi for Uruguay, 45 in white, came in for Pablo Gomez, starting forward. Bridgewater attacking, flips it outside. And now Bridgewater for three. He's everywhere.
That was the difference, right? That's a difference maker for them right now. His first step is so quick, right? He gets into the paint, gets the kick out, and by the time he makes that pass, he's right back at the three-point line for the shot.
Deep three, Rodriguez, and I think Bahamas will settle for letting Uruguay shoot out there, but another Uruguayan offensive board. Bridgewater's matched up underneath the hoop. Bianchi didn't see it. Drive inside Ceres, and a pass away, out of bounds.
Good communication, good switch by Mobley and Hunter. The spacing on the floor wasn't great for Uruguay. You end up with another turnover.
Now Mobley out of the game, and the captain, Jerron Burroughs, is in. Sometimes called Keno Burroughs. He hands it off. And Franco Miller through the legs. Down to the corner. Smith for three. Offensive board, Burroughs. Instant impact from the captain. Another three-point try. Miller is short. Another offensive board. Sammy Hunter misses the putback. And a rebound there for Uruguay. That was Santiago Vescovi with the ball right now, taking down the board. 25 points for him in the last win. Iglesias with a three missed. And another physical Burroughs rebound. Bridgewater threw it back. And lucky to not turn it over for Bahamas. Now Miller inside through two, draws a foul. He'll go to the line.
He's still so strong, right? A guy you got to have a sense of urgency to get out to because he's averaged 24 points over these two games. Gets that basketball in the corner. You can see the closeout. Everybody getting out there with that sense of urgency, but he has great awareness. Now I'm attacking those closeouts, right? Getting into the paint. And very strong. You can see using his body, using his frame, finding a way to the rim.
At 29 in the overtime loss to the United States, and then a team-high 19 again against Brazil.
He's doing a good job of facilitating just under 6 assists over the two games. So not just scoring and looking for his, but balancing it by looking for his teammates.
Substitution for Uruguay brought Gonzalo Iglesias out of the game and Nicolas Martinez into the game, 21-year-old from Montevideo. And there's the first point of the game for Franco Miller. He'll check out now Garvin Clarkin after the 10-0 run by Uruguay to go up 10-3, 7-2 for Bahamas 6.
Getting another look at Bahamas zone. It's a 1-3-1 to a 2-3.
Awkward floater nearly went for Ceres in the last touch. Bahamas keeps it with Uruguay. A reminder, both these teams could make it, or in theory, be eliminated by winning or losing this game. For Uruguay, the result of what happens next will be dictated one way or another by also the next game. For the Bahamas, if they lose, they're done. There's no way they're getting it. If they win, depending on the margin and depending on the result of the next game, they could still need some help. Field force by Bahamas. Here's Bridgewater with numbers. Teammates both sides. He goes to Smith for the lay-in.
So fast. So fast. He turns a one-on-one foot race into a three-on-one and a great pass. His teammates just have to be ready, but they got to be able to keep up with him as well.
Credit to Smith. Full head of steam. Laid it up with the right from the left side. Perotti skip pass. He just checked in. Martinez 3. And a rebound there for Hunter, skying above Bianchi. Bounce inside, and Burrows fouled. Great feed again, Bridgewater, and Burrows, what an impact he's made.
Yeah, he's come off the bench, and like you mentioned, the captain, leader of this team, he's vocal. A lot of these guys he's helped develop back home. So they have a respect for him, and he understands, right? These guys, it's their time now. Get them to basketball, play off of them. But I've been impressed with Domnick Bridgewater, right? Like the difference in this game is they don't have to play through Mobley, right? He gives them another gear, another engine where, you know, he can push, he can get guys to basketball, he can work some pick and rolls, and the offense isn't as stagnant.
Suarez just checked out for Uruguay as Bahamas barely gets it in. And the 3-2 strong offensive board. Burrows, he'll finish. With Suarez going out, Rodriguez is back in, and maybe that's perfect timing because this 11-2 run has put the Bahamas back in front. And a good kick there by Smith. Kentuan Smith and Keno Burrows probably feel interesting on this roster. They are the only two guys beyond the age of 30 on this Bahamas roster. Burrows 39. Bianchi inside, fouled and one. Burrows reach, and Bianchi's dunk attempt bounced in. Already a team-high 4 for Bianchi off the bench. 23-year-olds can jump up to 5 with a make here. And with that, make a timeout on the floor. Lou Rawls-Nairn Jr., the young coach of Bahamas, wants a timeout after the foul on Kentuan Smith, the third of the quarter for Bahamas. Tight game as we go into the Bahamian huddle.
They go glove, hey listen, watch the screener, and then it goes zip to the angle pick and roll, so you're gonna be in coverage. All right, be good, just clean the shoulder.
We know what it is. Both of y'all could have got a steal. Just go over, they're not gonna stop. If they stop, contest. Go over, put your hand out. It's not their responsibility to help. No more, okay? Come on.
The Bahamas weathering an early 10-3 deficit to be right in this one with Uruguay. They break the huddle with Bridgewater, Smith, Hunter, Burrows, and Clark on the floor. Vescovi, Martinez, Bianchi, along with Perotti and Rodriguez for Uruguay. Little full court pressure from Uruguay, although they sag off as Bridgewater uses his speed over half. Over to Garvin Clark, back to Bridgewater. High screen Burrows, and Bridgewater looking for options. Swing to the wing. Clark contested look. And a rebound there, one-handed by Rodriguez. They'll drive, dump it up, Bianchi in. 4-2, he has 7 already in about 3.5 minutes. Pull up 3 Bridgewater, and nothing inside the arc on that possession. Perotti has a big on him in Burrows. Puts him in the mixer, fakes him up, steps through, dumps it off. And Bianchi blocked, great recovery, Smith. But the floater good for Parodi, who played great basketball in the key.
Yeah, that was good defense, but also some good offense. Parodi sticking with it. Ball ends up in his hands. Right place, and knew exactly what to do with it.
Burrow's entry pass, and he gets it back on the give and go to the lane.
That is tough. Ball goes into the post. They shrunk down to help and turned their back. Burrow's cutting to the basket, aware and cutting big, so he gets the basketball, receives it for the two.
Vescovi three is good. He hit 4 of them in the win over the U.S., the former Tennessee Volunteer.
Well, he's been shooting the basketball well in this tournament, 56% from 3, so you've really got to find him out there.
Bridgewater into the corner. Smith, drive, kick, extra pass, corner 3, Hunter. And a rebound, Parodi again. Eight to shoot. Parodi gets inside, no look pass, but Martinez was out of bounds.
Yeah, it's tough giving back guys the basketball, especially when you're dribbling towards them, and you want them to play off the catch. There's not much space, and you're always taking that negative step so you can kind of get some acceleration, get some momentum going to the basket. You see a lot of guys step on that back line and out of bounds. It's always good to have those size 14s until that line gets in the way.
Not an issue I have these days, I will say.
Bianchi, you do got some fashion sense.
I appreciate
some shoes
that.
right before here.
I appreciate it.
Got some style.
Ducasse and Prieto on for Uruguay. Bianchi and Vescovi just checked out. A couple of subs for the Bahamas, including the screener right now. Mobley coming on. There's a foul by Parodi. Mobley and Miller came on for Smith and Bridgewater. And missed one sub there for Uruguay. Bernardo Barrera is on as well, and Joaquin Rodriguez back off. Gerardo Huari really rolling his team so far. A lot of substitutions in this first quarter. And another foul committed. That one is going to go against Juan Ducasse.
I think you're also rolling, the substitutions in there slow, just knowing this is a couple days into the tournament, guys are fatigued. You're also playing a Libyan team that's going to play fast-paced, right? They're going to play fast-paced for 4 quarters, especially now that you see that they're featuring Domnick Bridgewater a bit more. So you're preparing yourself for that 3rd and 4th quarter.
Bounce inside, deflected away. There's been a lot going on as they try to get this ball in. Now it'll be the 3rd try. If you're Uruguay too, while you might not be playing at the faster pace, you do have the deeper rotation. They have played everyone on their roster so far. Bahamas is typically keeping it a little bit tighter, maybe 8 guys at best.
And although Uruguay's playing more guys, you talk about the depth, it has resulted in a couple more turnovers, right? Because you're getting combinations of guys that really haven't played together in the tournament. So now you have, them, which is a little uncharacteristic of them, 4 turnovers already in this first quarter.
So only 1 for the tighter Bahamas group. Should say maybe 9 for their rotation at best. Inbound pass and a poke away. Another turnover there, but that one goes to Uruguay. A turnover by Bahamas, and Prieto's 3 at the end of the quarter, no good. Uruguay, in a game or a quarter of run so far, has the lead 22-16 at the quarter break.
And they've done, they have the lead, but where they've done a really good job is getting those points in the paint, right? On 2 for 9 from the 3-point line, but they've converted in that dotted area, in the restricted area.
At Polideportivo, Alexis Sangueo in Managua. Rashad Davis drives to the baseline, takes contact, missed the shot, and with pace, here comes Prieto. Now Parodi, bounce inside, great cut. What a missed layup there by Ducasse. Over the top now to Mobley. Looking for his first bucket of the game. He draws a foul on the floor. They got tangled up. I think Barrero's trying to say that wasn't on purpose, as they discuss it after the play, and nothing extra here as we move on to the sideline out of bounds.
Yeah, the official took a little bit too long to make the call. I thought Mobley took exception to how long he was hooked. In actuality, getting a second look at it, he might have been the one that initiated it.
It'll be a baseline inbound, and it goes to Mobley, defender on the floor. Clark trying to take advantage, and he will to the hoop as Perotti slipped at the three-point line.
Bahamas back in that 1-2-2 zone. They have Mobley at the top of it using his length so that he can't make any passes into the top of the zone there.
Leading down the shot clock. Pullback three is good. Stepping back to the corner for Prieto. Patricio Prieto, a 22-year-old guard. Hunter will not answer. A rebound, Perotti, pardon me. Flare screen and a pop Iglesias, and he hit it. 10-point advantage now. Big shot, Gonzalo Iglesias.
Right now, Uruguay's offense is a little bit more balanced. Franco Miller getting to the rack there, but Bahamas, they're not shooting the basketball exceptionally well. 15 of the 22 shots have been from the three-point line. They're only shooting 3 for 15, so they've got to find a way to mix it up a little bit more.
Deflected pass and a steal. They do like to get out and run, the Bahamas. We'll see if they can do that here. And a deflection, Perotti getting in the way.
That's the purpose of having Mobley at the top of that zone there. He gets a deflection, which forces that turnover, causes that turnover, and they get out and get a chance on the offensive side.
Substitutions, Uruguay bringing Fittipaldo, Vescovi in, Perotti and Barrera will shove out. Domnick Bridgewater, right-hand dribble, dump inside, and a cutting Burrows, the captain, back in with a bucket.
He has great chemistry with his guards, right? Iglesias turned his back. He just cuts off that left baseline, receives the basketball.
Burrows and Bridgewater both just checked in for Hunter and Clark, respectively. Still in the zone. Vescovi fakes from the corner, drive inside, pass through contact, and Iglesias missed the three. Good rebound there by Mobley, and outlet to a racing Franco Miller. All the way to the rim, and he scores, and the foul.
Big time force.
In the restricted area, even though he had position, was the defender there, Prieto. So that's an and one.
And that's when you talk about change of speed, right? Franco Miller goes the length of the floor. It slows it down right at the three-point line to change speeds. Here you see it, the hesitation, boom, gets an explosion, eats that right shoulder and the concentration for the finish. But it's the slow deceleration to the acceleration that really creates that momentum to go up with the force and the power. And then now you can leverage that strong body, that lower half and upper shoulder, broad shoulders that he has.
Prieto's first second of the quarter for Uruguay, and that'll be a timeout for the Uruguayans. 6-point advantage for Uruguay as we go into their timeout with Gerardo Juárez.
Cargaron dos al rebote, pusieron la bola, corrió y ya nos dejaron atrás. ¡Vamos vos! Lo primero la transición defensiva. Me quedo con él, es mi hombre, y después transición defensiva. ¡Vamos! Contra 3, 2, 4. Salgo para el lado de Mateo. Mateo. Emi. Bruno, Santi, Joaquín, vení vos la mano, te vas, Gonzalo pica, perdón, Emi pica la línea, ¿está bien? Pica la línea, con uno acá.
So it's a 4-point game after that and one, and you see Matteo Bianchi come back on the floor. Why not? He is the leading scorer so far for Uruguay as they try and stop the Bahamas' momentum. Bianchi, Rodriguez, and Suarez coming back in for Iglesias, Prieto, and Ducasse first. Franco Miller Jr. free throw is good, and it's a one-possession game. Fittipaldo into the corner. Back to Fittipaldo again. Vescovi with the shot clock winding down. They got to put it up. Get a good look for Fittipaldo, and he hits it.
Just a slight breakdown in the defense and great patience by Uruguay, moving the basketball side to side, and Fittipaldo gets an open one in that zone.
He's already hit a couple of triples in the game, up to 6. And that's the third triple for Bridgewater.
That's good offense, right? Bridgewater sets the screen for Franco Miller, and the defense follows Franco. He comes up off the cleanup on the left side for a nice rhythm 3.
Aren't they glad to have him back? He's got the game high with 9. Fittipaldo fakes up Mobley. And from the same spot, he misses that one a little wide left. Tap back off of Uruguay, Bahamas ball. Isaiah Mobley. Time in the NBA for Cleveland and Philadelphia. Pass off Bridgewater. And now Burrows looking for Bridgewater again. Gets his own rebound. Swing to the other side of the floor. Into Burrows. He'll drive. And one.
That is hard. That is force. That is force.
He waited for Mobley to drag the other defender away and then took his shot to the hoop.
And there's the patience and the drag you're saying. Mobley going under to the other block, which cleared out that right side. And Burrows just made a tough play, right? Something he's done for decades now.
I don't mean to harp on it, but he's 9 years older than that coach who just fist bumped for him, Lou Rawls-Nairn Jr. Burrow's a veteran, and Lou Rawls-Nairn Jr. on the much younger end of the coaching spectrum.
You don't got to remind me. I remember playing with him. I looked down at the score sheet here and seeing the age, and I was like, my body, I don't know how he's doing it because I'm aching watching him do it.
26-year-old Joaquin Rodriguez with a 3, and now Miller hoists, and a rebound Bianchi. Both of these teams taking over half their shots from beyond the arc so far. Triple team on Suarez. Great trap and steal by Miller. And a poke by Rodriguez gives it right back to Uruguay. Great team defense and then individual defense in the span of 5 seconds.
Absolutely. And Franco there just got a little bit too excited. A great recovery getting the basketball back by Uruguay. Thought Bahamas did a good job of, triple teaming, right? I thought it might have been a little much, but Franco comes out the backside when the offense turns it back. Now you get it. Rodriguez, great anticipation coming back with the basketball.
They only give Uruguay 14 on the shot clock as they get it back. Quick 3, good for Rodriguez. Time doesn't matter when you hit that. 9 points for him, now matching the game high of Bridgewater.
We're seeing a lot of zone.
And a foul drawn by Bridgewater. Maybe because of that zone, you're seeing all these threes so far in this game. 17 attempts for Uruguay. They're shooting over 40%, so why not? And 18 attempts for the Bahamas. Bahamas did just make 2 subs, by the way. Smith and Hunter are back in. Mobley and Davis out. That last foul went against Vescovi. It was his second and Uruguay's 4th of the quarter. Bahamas with 0 fouls, but they missed both free throws there. Pass inside, deflected and stolen. And Smith gets it ahead. Miller uncontested lay-in. Vescovi on 2, couldn't foul him.
And again, that zone, and they do such a good job of keeping active hands, high hands. You see Burrows, Hunter, Smith, all these guys, really good wingspan, and they're utilizing it.
Feed inside, Bianchi turnaround affected by the contest of Hunter. And now Miller might have got away with one there, and the deflection out of bounds keeps it with the Bahamas. Marodi into the game, Vescovi out of the game, and Mobley comes back in for Burrows. Mobley for Burrows, Bahamas side, Parodi for Vescovi on the Uruguayan side. Great dribble move. Bridgewater splits the defense, couldn't score on the lay-in. Behind the back, Rodriguez. Fittipaldo in rhythm. And an offensive board for Suarez. High screen, they get a switch. Rodriguez twisting and turning his way to the hoop.
That young man plays with such fire.
He split last year between the first and second Spanish divisions as Hunter goes in for the lay-in. You would imagine, though, that pretty soon Joaquin Rodriguez is going to be a full-time Liga ACB player with the wealth of moves he has.
Without a doubt, he's going to be in some first league very shortly.
When he was in Liga ACB last year, it was with Zaragoza.
And not only in the league, but I see him being a very big contributing factor for his team, his club.
Buzzer beater 3 there, Fittipaldo beating the shot clock to put Uruguay up by 7. And a strip. Here comes Uruguay. Rodriguez to the hole. It's a 9-point advantage and a timeout by the Bahamas.
Yeah, Franco Miller, nice Rodriguez there out in transition. Franco Miller, 3 turnovers here in the first half. That's something that we've seen him struggle with in game 1, just protecting the basketball, right? And you're, again, 26 years old, just still adapting and getting a bit more experience and understanding the value of the possessions.
We're listening now to the Bahamas huddle.
We let the ball go to where we don't want the ball to go to. 2 of my best defenders. Good shot. Good shot. Don't let the ball go to the corner. Don't let the ball go to the corner. Be okay? Let's go. Elbow away for Franco. Let's try to turn this corner, Isaiah. Fake it and play. Okay? We're fine. We got to score, stop, score. Okay? We're going to be a monster. Slide around. If the ball goes in the middle, that's the first, and switch fine. Okay? Be good. Stay with it. Let's go. Stay with it. Stay with it.
Hey, together. We got to do it together. Together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Together.
Lou Rawls Nares Jr. preaching a little bit of patience with his team. We are fine, he was saying, and to his point, a lot of basketball left, but you do feel like the momentum right now with Joaquin Rodriguez and Uruguay. Rodriguez with 10 in the quarter has a game-high 13.
Yeah, anytime you have a hot hand, right? Like, if you're Bahamas, you want to make sure, the opposing team, you want to make sure that hot hand doesn't continue, right? Because that breeds confidence into your team. And then, in this case, for Bahamas, like, some of those turnovers, it's not the fact that you're turning over the basketball, it's the live ball ones that you're able to, your opponent's able now to get out run-outs and easy looks.
Mobley still looking for his first points. Inside, Smith tried to slam it, but it's off the back iron. Bianchi still down on the floor after the dunk attempt. 4-on-5, Parodi to the rim, and he scores. Luciano Parodi makes it an 11-point advantage, largest of the game for Uruguay. Bridgewater in, Smith with the land. I will say one thing for the Bahamas, they might be happy to see Rodriguez not on the floor out of that huddle. They took him off for Bernardo Barrera. Zone defense for the Bahamians. And Fittipaldo to the left wing. Gotta put it up here, and I don't know that he got that off. Missed it anyway. They'll call it a shot clock violation. Marvin Clark checking in for Bahamas. Keno Burrows back into the game as well. Smith, who just tried for a highlight reel dunk, and Bridgewater checking out. Rodriguez quickly back in on the Uruguayan side. Miller to Mobley. Working his way to the rim, and he forces it up and in. I believe a warning being assessed there to Mobley.
Delay of game warning, yeah.
Try not to touch the basketball after it goes in, and there's a quick turnover. Barodi thought Rodriguez was cutting it. It looks like he was supposed to. Rodriguez put a hand up like he was the one who wasn't in lockstep on that play. Under 90 seconds remain in the half. And a foul under the hoop, I believe. Things getting a little physical between the bigs on both sides. Emiliano Ceres called for the foul. That's the 5th on the quarter. I think they called offsetting fouls potentially. Yeah, Burrows and Ceres both got charged with one, so no free throws coming. Into Burrows. Inside a foul drawn, and now free throws as Iglesias gets hit with a foul, and Burrows walks his way to the free throw line. The Uruguayan bench not enthusiastic about that call.
No, but Burrows, that's just a bet move, right? After the 2 fouls assessed, you go right back, you get the basketball. You know at that point the refs are going to make a call to make sure the game is under check.
Rattles out for Burrows. For Iglesias, his first. Although they've committed the lion's share of the fouls in the game, no one is really in trouble for Uruguay. No one has more than 2 fouls so far. And an 0 for 2 trip. Bahamas has left points on the board, 3 for 8 from the line so far. Rodriguez right into the heart of the zone, behind the back pass. Bianchi slip, gets it back. And the 3 rattles out. What a possession that would have been if it went down. Miller breezing past Rodriguez. Euro high off the window. Great geometry there from Franco Miller Jr. finding the angle high off the glass.
Yeah, and it almost feels like every time Bahamas makes a push, now you see me, now you don't. Right hand, right foot finish. Get another look at it. 2 times, you had to see it twice.
Uruguay timeout. We will dive into their huddle again with Gerardo Juárez.
Si es hombre, vamos al cuerno abajo, sin pase al 4. O sea, voy a buscar, el 5 hace esto, el 4 barre, y ya voy a jugar un pick a 60 con un jugador acá. Si es hombre, cuerno abajo. Si es zona, hagan esto. El mismo inicio, pivo, tirador. Joaquín, con este vas. En lugar de salir, stagger, vuelve y acá. Si no es acá, atacamos el weak side. ¿Está claro? ¡Pará! Los pivos, después que él pasa, se abren a la bola. Se abren a la bola. 1-3-1. Pone, corta.
Under a minute to play, and the Bahamas with a run to get back within 5. They are leading this quarter right now, 25-24. Alongside Javon Shepard on Ben Schulman. Uruguay with some help and a win by a lot of points, a larger lead than this, would have an opportunity to potentially win this group. Bahamas could make it. With a loss, though, they would certainly not make it to the quarterfinals, as they would drop to 0-3. More zone Bahamas. Peroty's pass stolen. Burrow's the captain. And now ahead, Miller finishes through 2.
That's nice. They're doing such a good job with that zone there, 3-2 with length up top, getting deflections, getting back on the other side.
10 turnovers in the half now for Uruguay, and an 11th. Burrows again with the deflection. Mobley got the steal. Bahamas content to slow it down with the shot clock off. They could go for the tie with a 3. Bridgewater penetration. Smith on the baseline. And Mobley for the tie. He got it. End of the half heave, no good. And after 2 quarters, nothing to separate Uruguay and the Bahamas.
And just the way, if you're Bahamas, just the way you want to end the half, right? Stringing together stops, stringing together buckets on one end. You're going to this half right now, and you know, okay, they're struggling with this 3-2 zone. They're doing a good job of, you know, keeping it simple, right? Keeping the hands up, keep moving feet, being active, communicating, talking it as much, not playing as much one-on-one on the perimeter, having a stagnant offense on the perimeter as their focus.
Scan that QR code, get the courtside 1891 app. You get access to live streams, extended highlights, and stay up to date with the world of international basketball. There's a lot going on, from international competitions wrapping up recently in Asia and Africa, and Eurobasket coming up. There is plenty to tune into, and we haven't even gotten to the knockout phase yet here in the Americas. 46-46, with both teams playing in some ways a do-or-die game here in Group A action. We won't know everything, though, until the game later between the United States and Brazil. Bruno Fittipaldo, the captain of Uruguay. Over to Santiago Vescovi. Fittipaldo zips it inside. Suarez turnaround. They didn't go inside a ton in that first half.
Not at all. The clock winding down, and they find a play.
Now 4 points for Suarez, doubling his total. Quiet scoring half for Isaiah Mobley. Had 5. Here's his turnaround. Now he has 7.
Right away, the first play for Bahamas coming out of the half. Like I mentioned, they're going to feature him a little bit more.
Rodriguez 3. Offensive board, Gomez slipped through the hands of Mobley. Back into that zone. Trapping a pass out of it. Launching a 3, Vescovi. And a rebound, Burrows. He was a big physical force in the first half. 9 points, 5 rebounds in the first 2 quarters. Captain, pull up from the top of the key. Didn't get the bounce. Tucking the ball on his left hip. Rodriguez scores. Feels like he can go left or right, and it's not much of a difference.
Left or right, but he really likes that left, and there was a little confusion there. Mobley was trying to get the right matchup. Wasn't able to get the guard matched up on him, and Rodriguez identified and just attacked that left side.
He's the game's leading scorer with 15, 15, and he draws a foul. Burrows might have got a little bit high up in his chest with the contact, and that's a turnover on Bahamas. Pardon me, Davis was inside there getting the elbow up. Summer for Rashad Davis, his second, first of the quarter for Bahamas. They only committed 4 total fouls in the first half. Nice tip. Bahamas can run 3-on-0, and Bridgewater scoops it in. Credit on the tip there to Franco Miller Jr. deflecting the pass.
16 points for Bahamas in transition, right? Another one off of a tip. Forced turnover.
Into the key, Ceres, kick out, Rodriguez hoisting. And Ceres poking into Gomez. He'll bully his way in, but he missed the putback attempt. Miller with a defensive rebound. Franco Miller to a baseline cutting Bridgewater, and he just got it in there.
Great pass and great read by Bridgewater. See Franco Miller come down the paint. Cuts off of that left baseline.
Ceres with the left, 4 points for him in the quarter.
Perfect. That's twice now Ceres has got that basketball right in that free throw area. Soft spotted that 3-2 zone. This time he's able to convert.
Mobley for three. Tie ball game as Uruguay carries it over half, 6-6 so far in this quarter. Fittipaldo trying to change that, and he will. Maybe his biggest game so far in the tournament, already 12 for the 34-year-old captain, Fittipaldo. Davis off iron, offensive board, Burrows. Bridgewater to tie, and he will.
One of the best threes in the game, right? An offensive rebound, all the white shirts are in the paint. Burrows with a nice kick out, and Bridgewater getting another rhythm walk-in three. He shot the basketball well today.
Pull up Fittipaldo, and we have a shoot-off right now in Managua. 15 points to tie the Uruguayan lead. Bridgewater jump pass, drew a foul. See who it's on. I think it was Gomez. And it will be Pablo Gomez. His first, and the first on Uruguay of the quarter.
It's good to see when the offense slows down for Bahamas. You know, they went right to a little flex offense out of Horns, which they got two good shots out of the first half.
Burrows out of the game. Same with Davis, and into the ball game for Bahamas, Smith and Hunter. Mobley loses it on the drive. Here comes Rodriguez. No numbers though, Uruguay, he'll turn it back. Midway point of this third quarter. Fittipaldo, great feed. Gomez running to the rim, draws a foul on the floor.
That is a risky one. Risky one. Fittipaldo handling the rock, getting it to Gomez, but almost a chest pass between three defenders in the paint there. Gomez, really good hands.
There was very little room to sneak that basketball in.
Tight quarters. He's a better man than me.
That foul, the second of the quarter on the Bahamas. It went against Domnick Bridgewater. For Bridgewater, his first. He flies up around a defender, and a good kick there by Mobley to send it out of bounds. A part of me, that deflection not off the foot, because if it was, it would reset the shot clock, but instead it's going to stay at 3.5. Subs both sides, Bridgewater out, Mobley out. Burrows quickly back in, and so is Garvin Clark. Rodriguez coming out for Uruguay, and into the game is young Nicolas Martinez. Martinez slips, trying to open up for the inbound. 5 seconds on Uruguay. I wonder if they were going to Martinez, because once he fell, everything seemed to be in flux.
It actually looked like he was going for it. They had 3.5 left on the clock. Looked like they're trying to get him the lob play, and Burrows bumped him as he curled.
You have the oldest player in the game, Burrows, bumping one of the youngest players, if not the youngest, in Nicolas Martinez, 21-year-old. Pass deflected. That gets a new dribble for Miller if he wants to use it. And he will, to try and tie the game. Deep three, no good. Rebound, Fittipaldo. And Martinez, second time today, he stepped on the baseline again, stepping back to go forward.
That's something you got to work on as well, right? Just playing off of the catch without that step going back, that negative step to get your momentum or pushing you forward, right? So you catch it on 2 and push that basketball forward.
Out of the game, Pablo Gomez for Uruguay, and into the game, Mateo Bianchi, 45 in white, guarding Hunter of Bahamas. Burrows looking to give it up, and he will. Garvin Clark with a Burrows screen. Clark inside, mid-range pull-up, missed it. Stopped for Uruguay with some of their fans in attendance making noise to try to disrupt the Bahamian offense, and now a technical foul is going to get called against Uruguay. I believe their bench had already been warned.
And it's funny because now everybody on the bench is silent and they're looking at one another like, who's responsible for that one? But everybody
I wasn't whistling, you were whistling.
Me.
Veteran Kenton Smith hits the free throw. That breaks a string of 4 straight free throw misses for the Bahamas. It's been a low free throw game in general. Uruguay has only been at the line twice, both as a result of and ones. And for the Bahamas, they've had 9 attempts from the line today. Just over 4 minutes remaining in the quarter. Fittipaldo, wing 3 blocked. Great defense, Hunter. Right back to Fittipaldo, and he nearly beat the buzzer there. And on the second chance, Suarez puts it in. Big quarter for Emiliano Suarez. 3 field goals to get up to 8 points. Burrows sees a double, and his pass picked off. Fittipaldo picks it off, and a foul there, reaching in by Hunter. Uruguayan bench asking for an unsporting foul, although I do think they have to be a little cautious. They just got attacked, and all of them were up and yelling at the refs. Not that there isn't a case, but the tech was not 45 seconds ago, game action.
Yeah.
Do I think that he was actually going for the ball? Not really, but I think he did enough to make it a basketball play. I mean, it's not like he clotheslined him neck high. He hit him on the chest.
You got the foul, let's play ball.
Substitution, Fittipaldo out, Parodi in. And maybe a wise one here as Fittipaldo was a little bit heated. Huari gets him a break to cool him down and give the 34-year-old captain some time off at the end of the quarter. So it's Parodi, Viscotti, Martinez, Bianchi, and Suarez on the floor for Uruguay, facing the 3-2 zone. Suarez puts it on the floor. Parodi, hot potato given to Martinez, and he traveled.
That's really good defense, right? You know, we've said it all night, right? Everybody knows, everybody in the arena knows it right now. They're sitting in this 3-2 zone, and Uruguay used 15, 16, 17 seconds on the clock before they even looked in the paint or touched the top of the paint.
15 turnovers for Uruguay. Mobley, right-hand drive, and a travel the other way. Parodi hit the ball, causing Mobley to go down to the floor. Couple of subs, Uruguay. They bring back in Iglesias and Rodriguez. As Martinez checks out, so does Suarez. Tense moments for both of these squads. Pull-up jumper, Vescovi is good, and a 6-point advantage, Uruguay. They got to be happy to see him hit. Just his second field goal made of the game. Great feed. And a cross-court pass. Now it's Hunter back to Clark, rising for three. Good.
That's tough. It's great play, great ball movement. Clark spacing on the penetration, just getting ready, shot ready, elevated right into it.
And I think a technical foul is going the other way now against Bahamas. It's funny, for a pretty clean game on the court, we've already seen 2 techs. That tech goes against Domnick Bridgewater. It will count as his second foul and the 4th of the quarter for the Bahamas. It's a pretty low foul game overall, though. 20 fouls total. And I wouldn't say the refs are quote-unquote letting them play. I just don't think there's been that many fouls to call.
Both teams, remember, Bahamas sitting in the zone, and Uruguay really hasn't gotten to the paint. You're not putting as much pressure on the rim, and Uruguay's also turned the basketball over. So a lot of Bahamas offense has come from transition baskets and points off turnovers.
Great feed, big to big. Bianchi turns, hooks, missed the shot. And here's Garvin Clark. 23-year-old native of Ohio, pass inside, somehow finds its way to Mobley. And now Smith, and it's a 1-point game. Kenjuan Smith with a big triple. Maybe the biggest bucket of the tournament for the former Stetson Hatter. Iglesias dives in, and a block there. Bianchi swatted by Smith. Foul in transition committed by Perotti. Big sequence on both ends for Kenjuan Smith.
Clean, pretty clean. Great job out here. Bridgewater. Kenjuan Smith just finding a way to avoid the body contact. Come up with that block.
Substitutions for the Bahamas bring Hunter out of the game and Garvin Clark out. Burroughs is back in with Franco Miller Jr. That Perotti foul, the team's second, and a floater no good by Bridgewater, but it'll go to the line, colliding there with Perotti again.
And Bridgewater knew the entire way. He sets that first screen on the right block, and as soon as he comes off, he's already directing for the pass to lead him on the curl, right? Great recognition. Here you see Mobley leading him. Knew Rodriguez was behind him, trailing the play, and got into the paint as small as he is, but just knew, okay, defense is behind me. I have an opportunity now to get in here and make something happen.
Third on Perotti, first guy in the game to 3 fouls, and the third in the quarter for Uruguay. Bahamas taking the lead on the back of a 8-1 run. Fittipaldo, and it's an Uruguay lead again. The captain is up to 18 points.
Baldo right in between Bridgewater and Burroughs. Neither one of them stepped up and picked him up.
Mobley answered. And an offensive board. How good has Smith been in the quarter?
He's had himself a nice little stretch. Big time plays, also big time buckets. 8 points for him to go along with 2 assists. 8 key points, might I add.
Zone look again. They screen the top of it. Perotti inside. Gets another look for Fittipaldo. And that was good offense, but no make there. Shot clock off now. Final possession potentially of the quarter. A quarter that's been 20-20 between Uruguay and the Bahamas.
Oh,
and a foul. And one! Domnick Bridgewater, what a play to get to 20 points.
He has a completely other gear that nobody can get to. Right? They wanted him with that basketball as the clock was winding down. Turns the corner here. Bianchi wraps him up. And just smart play with 7.7 left on the clock to get it up. You see that second gear, turns the corner, wrapped up. Focus, concentration. Not me. And they're gonna get a chance.
It's an unsporting foul.
Yeah, so they're gonna get a chance here for a 7.7 for another basket. This basketball should go right back into Bridgewater's hands. Hopefully he gets something at the basket.
Unsportsmanlike foul means the free throw and the ball.
Off the handoff.
Bridgewater, 5 to shoot, re-screen. He'll whip it over to Kenjuan Smith, who's fouled in the act of shooting, and he gets 3 shots. And this last possession could turn into a 6-pointer for the Bahamas.
Wow. And like I said, how many times have I said this to you? Clock winding down, defense always seems to panic more. You've done your job, right? That's going to be a tough contested shot, Rodriguez. If you just stay there and contest, elevate, stay vertical. Smith, the pump fake. Rodriguez swipes down, and now Smith's going to the line for a chance at 3, knocks down the first of 3. 0.2 of a second left.
After Bianchi's second, Rodriguez with his second. There's one more free throw, a little miscounting there under the hoop. What a swing at the end of this third quarter in favor of Bahamas. 6-point possession, and if you dial it back even further, this was a large Uruguay lead at one point. It was 62-56, and since then, over 2 minutes and 42 seconds, it's been a 16-1 run for the Bahamians.
Well,
more than likely the final quarter that they will play in this tournament. Alongside Javon Shepard, I'm Ben Schulman. It's the Bahamas and Uruguay, and after a 6-point final possession, Bahamas with a 6-point lead, and they start with the ball. Big pressure, Perotti off the inbound. Bridgewater breaks through half. 16-1 run right now, extended for the Bahamas. But a turnover there. Interception made by Iglesias. Perotti drive and a kick. Fittipaldo has 18, most of them from beyond the arc. But that time he's blocked by Mobley, and that's a shot clock violation.
That's good. That's good defense there by Mobley. Staying down, had the Uruguay Fittipaldo had a favorable matchup. He did a good job of just moving his feet, and as he elevated, staying vertical, elevating into the block shot.
Bounce inside, Bahamas, kick to the corner. 3-pointer put up, bounces out. And now it's tipped away to Perotti. Smith on the miss there after a big third for him. Over the top, Bianchi. Bigger than the 3 guys on him, and he forced it into the hoop. Unorthodox just kind of whipped it in. Bridgewater, great move to the mid-range jumper.
So quick, you just don't really know how to defend him, right? Herky-jerky, has you lulling you to sleep, and then that hesitation there into the jump shot.
Suresh fouled, he'll go to the line. I believe it's going to be Mobley on the foul. And it'll be 2 shots coming up for Uruguay. First of the game there on Mobley, first of the quarter on the Bahamas. Keno Burrows is coming on the game, and Sammy Hunter checking in. Domnick Bridgewater, after the 2-for-2 trip, gives it off to Mobley. Bridgewater across the court, Hunter, drive inside, knocked over his man, and a blocking foul. They're saying no basket, so I believe that'll be on the floor. But Fittipaldo, who has already been a bit fiery with the referees in this game, not happy again as he picks up his first. First of the quarter on Uruguay, 4-point lead, Bahamas. Hunter over to Bridgewater, and the three long. Rebound Fittipaldo. Drive by Ceres, swing to Fittipaldo, and he connects again.
That's a great pass by Ceres onto Fittipaldo. He didn't force anything because he had the mismatch with Domnick Bridgewater on him. 2 dribbles, read that weak side. Here you see him here. Going to the baseline, working the middle of the floor, and the kick out, Franco Miller just coming out a little bit late from the help rotation.
Lou Rawls-Nairn Jr. calls timeout. 7-2 right now in the quarter for Uruguay. There are many, many permutations of what could happen in this group. We cannot get through all of them, but there are worlds where Uruguay wins the group. There are worlds where Uruguay misses the quarterfinals entirely. Scan that QR code, by the way. Get the Courtside 1891 app. Check out live streams, extended highlights, and information about the world of international basketball. There are also worlds where the Bahamas makes it, but to do that, they have to win. There is no situation where the Bahamas loses and makes it. And point differential could be a factor, but there is a possibility that the Bahamas just needs to win. And if you can get a U.S. win, and it's Bahamas-Uruguay both tied at 1-2, Bahamas would have the head-to-head advantage and be the third-place team in the group.
Well, right now for Bahamas, right, there's less to think about. First things first, and the only thing on the table is you need to win. Right. Uruguay's situation is a little bit different, right? So for Bahamas, that sense of urgency, I think we've seen it even when they've been down in this game. They've had slightly more sense of urgency on some of their possessions, or when they've gone down, or when they've had some leads. You could even see in the passion that the guys are playing with, right? A turnover, you look over at Coach Raul, and he's all over the place. So they kind of understand what's at stake here.
1-point game, 7.5 minutes remain. Rashad Davis back in. He's in the headband. 5 in blue for Bahamas. Fall-away jumper, Bridgewater, so smooth.
Yeah, he's definitely in a little zone here.
Make that 25 for him.
And now Bahamas gone right back. We'd seen some man out of them. They go right back to the zone.
Fittipaldo for 3 to tie it. 24 for Bruno Fittipaldo. Davis is starter, but hasn't gotten in on the scoring much. Only 3 points. Good swing. Hunter open 3. Rolled off the rim to Fittipaldo. Approaching a triple-double. 24, 7, and 7 for the captain. And he's looking for 27 points. What a miss and a rebound, Miller. No points in the half for Franco Miller. Davis over to Bridgewater. He'll pull up. And it's off the rim right to Hunter. Miller, bottom.
Yeah, right now both of those guys, Franco Miller and Bridgewater, are really holding him down. They're gonna need Mobley, and he hasn't been a second half guy in the 2 games that we've seen him, but they need him to step up and be a presence as well.
Into the middle of the zone, Ceres, and it's in. There was a chance for a tap there. It actually looked like Hunter got a piece of it, but it was in a tough part of the rim to get to. Subs for Uruguay, takes Perotti out and Iglesias out, and some of their closers, Rodriguez and Vescovi, into the game. On the other side, Keno Burrows in, Mobley out, so Lou Rawls-Nairn saying rather than are we going to get Mobley going, he's just making the sub and saying Burrows has been the better guy maybe right now.
Well, the thing is, if they're going to play that zone twice now, he's gotten burned at the top of it and just falling asleep, or whether it's lazy or just unaware. And right now that's hitting him, like that's hurting him. If he's not going to get him anything offensively, then he's got to be, you know, one of the anchors, especially being in the top side of that zone.
Bridgewater out as well. Garvin Clark is in. Franco Miller, spin, step through, had to dish it off. Now Miller for three. Missed it that time. 1 point lead. Uruguay can jump back out in front of Bahamas. Rejected the screen. Fittipaldo off the window. 80-79 Uruguay. Poke away. Rodriguez in a race with Burrows. Not much time to shoot. Clark deep heave. And a great defensive possession for Uruguay. Under 5 to go in the game, under 5 remaining in Bahamas tournament life. Fittipaldo, a foul on Bianchi, and probably a wise one. Miller charged with the foul. He'll send Bianchi to the line. It was going to be a free two.
Fittipaldo, the captain of this Uruguayan team, and 26 points for him. He's really playing like a captain. Here you see he rejects the screen. Nice high finish off the glass. With this little fake here, scoop, high. Float. Scoring with the 26, like I mentioned, 7 rebounds for him and 8 assists.
If Uruguay goes on to prevail, as Mobley and Bridgewater quickly come back in for Hunter and Davis, you know, this performance from Fittipaldo will go up there with Juan Fernandez for Argentina yesterday, nor Chad O'Meara with his 30-20 game that he had for the host Nicaragua. This is one of the great individual outputs we've seen from a player in this tournament. And he'll get a 9th assist because of that free throw make by Bianchi. Bridgewater trying to split 2. Big on him, takes him to the hole, and he floated it over the big. How does he do it? The 5'9" guard gets it over the top of 6'9" Emiliano Suarez. Four minutes to go. Rodriguez 3, got it, and a double-double for Fittipaldo as Uruguay jumps back ahead. Miller step back. Long rebound. Garvin Clark has it. 3 guards, 2 bigs for the Bahamas. Clark into the lane. Gotta give it up. Open look, Miller. Stuck in from the same spot he hit the 4th quarter buzzer beater in game 1. Just over 3 to go. Fittipaldo into Bianchi. Back outside, Suarez. And Bahamas now can try for a lead. They led coming into the quarter, but Uruguay has been dominating this frame. And there's a foul committed by Miller. In transition, Fittipaldo tangled up with him. I think the referees are going to come together and discuss this one. It didn't have the look of a common foul, is what I'll say.
It looked a little messy there. Franco Miller with a timely turnover there. There he goes, just fumbles the basketball, just has to do a better job of taking care of it. And I mentioned having the 5 turnovers in the first game that they played. He gotten a little better last game, but this, it just seems like, you know, sometimes he's a little bit too casual with it.
They are going to take a look. I believe the call on the floor is a common foul, but the referees are going to the monitor. So we will step aside to allow them to break this one down.
Receive the contact master criteria for a sportsmanlike foul. The decision on the court is personal foul. Yes. On camera number, please. you go back at the stop there. Then we have this one and the main also. This on the main. So then we go back. So we're gonna, okay. 3 turns over the ball, then White sits, recover, and then you see he moved the foot off to create a contact. So what do you think about that? So it's not a basketball action when he put the foot off. Okay, so I agree. After review the contact matching criteria for a sportsmanlike foul, we will have 2 shots on White number 6, and the ball will be for Uruguay. We got a sportsmanlike foul. We got 2 shots and possession.
So it will be an unsportsmanlike foul charged against the Bahamas. Franco Miller there sticking a leg in the way, and that means a couple of shots and the ball for Uruguay. It's funny, again, pretty clean game overall, but 2 technicals, 1 either side, and an unsportsmanlike foul either side. But not really indicative of the overall style of the game so far. Meanwhile, Bruno Fittipaldo adds to his impressive day so far. Now 27, 7 rebounds and 10 assists. Make it 28.
Somebody better tell him he's 3 rebounds away from a triple-double.
Get to your defensive glass there. He can make it happen in 2 minutes, 53 seconds. Uruguay, meanwhile, outscoring the Bahamas 20-12 in the quarter. Fittipaldo into Bianchi. 1 dribble, lefty laying no good, but he draws a foul at the buzzer to go to the line.
Mobley knew it right away. Right, Fittipaldo, heck of a pass. Bianchi rolling hard, diving hard to the basket. Right, just elevating strong, going up strong at the rim.
Last time they fouled him, he went 0 for 2 at the line. I wonder if they're content to pretty much send him to the line whenever possible. Although that is their 4th now, so you put yourself in dangerous territory. And he hits. For Mobley, his 2nd. Overall in the game, there isn't a lot of individual foul trouble. No. Only 1 player has 3 fouls. It's Miller. And a 2 for 2, bouncing it in by Bianchi. Biggest lead of this quarter for Uruguay, up by 4. Bridgewater. And Miller sets and fires. Somehow didn't go down.
Can't ask for anything more than that, right? Can't ask for a better shot than that. Great ball movement, extra pass by Burrows. Franco Miller just a little bit too much time there.
Into a cutter and another foul. Vescovi going to the line. Slap on the arm by Miller.
Well, you did say you wanted to see some more fouls, right? Some more free throw shooting.
I did. And I said no one was in foul trouble. Franco Miller now has 4. We've said it before, but we'll say it again. For Uruguay, the results of this game, obviously a win better than a loss, but we'll have to see what happens in the game following between Brazil and the United States to see exactly how their fate is determined. For the Bahamas, there is no gray area. If they do not win, they have no chance of continuing in the tournament. Even with the win, nothing is guaranteed, but they have to win at least to buy a lottery ticket for the next round. Lou Rawls-Nairn Jr. in the huddle, just over 2 to go.
They still have a ton of time, right? It's a 6-point game here. You're getting this basketball. I don't think you have to force up a 3. I don't think you need to rush a shot unless it's a really good one. But I think you need to get a good look at the basket, right? A strong take at the basket. So, and you think about it, there's still 2 minutes, right? So if you can get a bucket here and you know, get out in a little press or try and speed Uruguay up. And they've done a good job of forcing them into turnovers by way of their zone. But if you can get them to cough it up or at least take a tough shot, right? You have one or two shot clocks that you can work with before you jeopardize anything for yourself or compromise, put your back against the wall. So you don't even need to go for a steal right now, but you need to get a good stop or disciplined stops.
Some of the recent makes for Uruguay. Bruno Fittipaldo has been the best player in this game. 28, 8 rebounds, 12 assists. The Uruguayans, trailed by double digits at one point, entered this quarter trailing by 6 on a huge momentum swing in favor of the Bahamas. A 16-1 run to end the third quarter, and yet, with just over 2 to go, it's Uruguay in pole position to take this victory. Bridgewater over to Mobley. And Miller. Burrows on the floor with Smith as well for the Bahamas. Bridgewater triple. Rebound Suresh. Big first stop for the Uruguayans.
Yes, you see, they went for the home run there with an elevator play to try and get Bridgewater the 3. I'm not sure they needed a 3 at this point. It's still 2 minutes at a time left.
Fittipaldo, pass deflected. Fittipaldo gets it back in a foul, and that'll send him to the line. That is a huge foul with 4 seconds on the shot clock.
The other part to that last play is, you know, you take a tough 3. You also don't put much pressure on Uruguay. He only has 1 foul, 1 team foul in this quarter, right? So they still...
They have 17 in the game. Bahamas has 14 in the game. This is their 5th of the quarter. Fittipaldo with a very rare miss from any distance today. It's only the 2nd miss from the line for Uruguay, who is 12 for 14 now.
He's probably thinking about one of those 2 rebounds so he can finish with a triple-double.
Hits the second, 7-point advantage. Both teams have come back from a lot today, but only 90 seconds to go. Bridgewater, screen Burrows. Now he turns toward the hoop, and they will let him go in there. Uruguay content to not foul, not give up 3s, and burn clock. They're going to run it down again. They can get it under a minute if they want to here, Uruguay. Might initiate a little before that. Rodriguez inside, falling away, he hits. Getting close to dagger time here. Drive to the rim, Miller scores. And I wonder if the Bahamas starts to dive in for steals. Maybe not afraid to get a foul up here. Perhaps a possession or 2 away. Burrows reaching, no foul. And Vescovi has it. They can run it down close to 30 now. Vescovi crossover dribble. Kick out. Suresh. Dagger.
That's the one there. That is the one there, right? They were still in good position. If they had gotten a stop and come down, if they'd gotten a stop and come down and hit a 3, you were still going to be in striking distance, right? That one was definitely the dagger, and that's why that 3 they took coming out of the timeout was, that one hurt, right? Because if they, I thought they could have got something, an easy 2 at the basket, especially with Domnick, Bridgewater, and Franco Miller. Like, those guys are such a force getting downhill. Could have been foul or a basket.
You never know, but at this point it would likely take a handful of missed free throws from Uruguay for the Bahamas to come back, not to mention clutch shooting in the latter stages. They're wiping the floor under the hoop before the Bahamas checks it in. They got to get something up quickly here. Bridgewater, drive, into the key, no foul. Uruguay has it, and I would imagine a foul. It's coming there from Mobley. Unsportsmanlike foul to Mobley. And that is a backbreaker. That's going to give it back to Uruguay. I would imagine they were thinking just too strong there on the swipe. Mobley out of the game, Burrows in as we get another look there. Fittipaldo's going to have 2, plus the ball back for Uruguay. And if you're Uruguay, this is good. You want some extra points for point differential. They probably, barring something crazy, probably needed more points to their lead than this to get first place. But maybe, if we're talking about a U.S. win over Brazil that would have 3 teams at 2-1, this could get them to second place. It is possible for Uruguay to finish second in their group if the U.S. could put up a double-digit win over Brazil. Another foul, and that's going to mean more free throws for Uruguay. And again now, every point important. Uruguay live sits at a +7. U.S. +11. You need them to win, so you're probably not catching the U.S. in point differential, but the United States come up with a double-digit win over Brazil. Crazier things have happened. And maybe you could shave into Brazil's point differential, which is +23. Now Uruguay overall at +8 in the tournament. Is a 15-point win by the U.S. the craziest thing? Maybe not.
I think also in USA's situation, they still have guys that are dealing with suspension, right? So now how does that impact them?
Pass in to Burrows. Hand off Miller. Smith for 3. And it's good. And as the time winds down on Bahamas, a lot of credit to them in this tournament. They will not come up with a victory, but the Bahamas put together 3 incredibly competitive games, and the best basketball for their nation seems to be ahead of them.
Way ahead of them. And you know, you look at some of the guys that they have on this team right now, and you got to be excited for them. Franco Miller, Domnick Bridgewater.